With jQuery Mobile, you can generate all types of dynamic content. In this movie, I'm going to show you how to generate a page with content we receive from the WordPress JSON plugin. So right now, if you go to the blog section and you click on one of these links, you'll be taken directly to the ViewSource website. That's not necessarily the best user experience. It would be better if we could just display the content of the post within our app. Thankfully, the plugin we installed will let us do just that. First, we're going to need a container for our page. So I'm going to go down to the blog section, which is right here. And at the end of that section, I'm going to insert a new page. We'll give it an ID of blog post and a data role of page. And we'll format it like the other ones. I'll go ahead and close that div and make sure I put in a comment. And we're also going to need a header. So I'll do a div data role header. So I'm setting the position of the header to be fixed so that it doesn't move when the content scrolls, and also the theme to be A like our other pages. So inside the header, I'm going to create a link, and it's going to link back to our blog page. Give it a back icon here. And we'll give it a position of no text, so it doesn't show the text, just a little back icon. And data direction equals reverse, so that it goes back to our blog post page. And I'll close that link out. Then I'll add a headline here. My headline's going to be really simple. It'll just say post. After the header, we're going to add a content div. And inside that div, we will add another div. It's going to have an ID of my post. And this is where we'll place the content for the page. Let's go ahead and add a comment here. Now that we've got a placeholder for our feed content, we need to modify our code so that links to our articles click to a function that's going to generate our pages. So let me save this, and I'm going to go over into my JavaScript file. And right now, the link to our pages is happening right here. So we're going to modify this just a bit. And instead of going to the page URL, we'll redirect this to go to our ID of blog post, or our blog post page. And when somebody clicks on one of these links, I'll generate a handler here, an on-click handler that will execute a function called show post. And to this function, we will pass the ID from our feed. So space that a little better. So when somebody clicks on a link, I'm asking jQuery Mobile to execute a function and pass it the ID of the page that we clicked on. So now we need to write the code for this function called show post. I'll do that after this function. I'll create a new function. It's going to be called show post, and it's going to receive the ID where we clicked. So inside this function, I'm going to use the jQuery getJSON command, and that getJSON command is going to get JSON from the iViewSource WordPress plugin, and it's also going to send it the post ID. Now, normally I would be sending this information to a callback, but in this case, the getJSON function allows us to create a callback right here. So I'm going to use callback equals question mark. And after that, I'm going to insert a function literal. Function literal is just a function without a name. We'll pass it the data that we receive from the JSON plugin. And now we do pretty much what we're doing up here, which is generate an output variable. And we're going to pass that output variable some information. I'll grab this one from right here because it's going to be the same. And it's going to pass it along a title. Now, because this data is going to come in, it'll be data.post.title. And then I'm going to pass it along also just the content from the HTML page. That you can get from going to data.post.content. It comes from our feed. Now that we have that, we can use jQuery as we did in the last function to just output the HTML to a ID that we created. So the ID that we created was my post. Then I'll set the HTML to the output that we generated above. Let me put in a comment here. So let me go ahead and save that. And I'll come over here, refresh the page. If everything went well, the code for the page will come up. And when we click on this guy right here, it's going to go to not just another page, but it's going to extract the content from our page using the JSON jQuery plugin. and insert it into our application. And that's just a better user experience. That way we don't make the user feel like they've left our site. So generating page content is just as easy as generating other content. Once again, the fact that we have jQuery included within jQuery Mobile gives us functions like getJSON, which come in very handy.